Trezor recently announced what I believe to be their most impressive hardware wallet yet, the Trezor Safe 5, but is it worth the $169 price tag? I think so, and I'll explain why after we go over everything it has to offer. And of course, I want to know what you think about this wallet, so let me know in the comments. Alongside the release of the Safe 5, Trezor also released a new service called Trezor Expert that I'm eager to discuss and hear your opinions on, so let's get into the good stuff. Also, a quick note, I know a lot of you have been asking about Trezor's discount codes. Unfortunately, Trezor discontinued all their discount codes, so I don't have a discount to offer you. However, if you decide that you want to purchase the Trezor Safe 5 or any other Trezor products, please consider using my affiliate link in the description of this video. It'll take you directly to Trezor's website. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it goes a long way in supporting this channel, and I just really appreciate it. So thank you. Anyways, let's start with the design of the Safe 5, which I really dig. The screen is the same size as a Trezor Model T, so it's 1.54 inches. I wish it were a little larger considering this is an upgrade to the Model T, but at least the screen covers the entire device, whereas the Model T has that plastic border around it. So if nothing else, the Safe 5 definitely looks a bit cleaner. That said, the screen itself got a massive upgrade, so not only is it a colored LCD screen, but it now has haptic touch, so you know when you tap it, you'll get some nice feedback. It's also made from Gorilla Glass, which is 9 times harder than normal glass, so it's scratch proof. You can throw it around, you can bang it up, and you don't have to worry about breaking it. I would even go as far as to say this is probably the most durable hardware wallet on the market that has a touchscreen. And just like all the Trezor wallets, the Safe 5 still uses a USB-C connection to power on the device and to connect to your computer so you can interact with Trezor Suite and manage your crypto. And something I really like about all Trezor wallets is that they do not have batteries in them, so you don't have to worry about the battery failing down the line. And, the same can't be said for a wallet like Ledger, which 1 year after getting my Ledger Nano X, the battery failed. Which just sucks. Overall, it's a very minimalistic design. It comes in 4 different colors. So the Bitcoin only edition of the Safe 5 is offered in Trezor's signature Bitcoin orange color. And then the universal model is offered in black graphite, violet ore, and green beryl. Speaking of the Bitcoin only model, the Safe 5 is offered in 2 models, the Bitcoin only edition and then the universal or multi-coin edition. And if you're wondering what the difference is besides the colors, the Bitcoin only model uses Bitcoin only firmware, so you can only store and manage Bitcoin on that model. And if you're wondering why someone would choose the Bitcoin only model over the universal model, which holds both Bitcoin and pretty much all the other coins that Trezor supports, it really just comes down to security. At least that's what they'll tell you. The Bitcoin only firmware has less code, so it has a smaller attack surface, so it's technically more secure. But in my opinion, the small improvement in security is not worth getting the Bitcoin only device, mainly because my portfolio is full of Ethereum and Solana coins. So I guess it would make sense if you're a Bitcoin maxi and you only want to store Bitcoin. I could see why the Bitcoin only model would be appealing. To be honest, I think it's more of a marketing thing. They want to have that one wallet that they can advertise to all the Bitcoin maxis, and then they want to have that one that they can advertise to everyone else. And one other question I see regarding the Safe 3 and the Safe 5 is, what about the Model 1 and the Model T? What's happening with those older models? Are they still safe to use? Do you need to upgrade? Well, in short, the Model T and the Model 1 are still perfectly fine to use, but technically the Safe 3 and the Safe 5 are more secure because they offer more security features. Speaking of security, the Safe 5 is packed with some of the best security features that you could want from your cold wallet. So just like the Safe 3, of course, it supports 12 and 24 word seed phrases. It also supports setting up a hidden wallet, also known as a passphrase. But the Safe 5 also supports a new and improved 20 word backup standard, which makes the entire recovery and backup process a lot more user-friendly. And how it does this is it allows you to set up a 20-word seed phrase when you create your wallet, and then later you can actually change it to advanced multi-share backup, which was previously known as advanced Shamir backup. So this is actually a new standard developed in-house by Trezor called Slip 39. And what this allows you to do is split your seed phrase into up to 16 different shares. So that way you can set the threshold and determine how many of those shares you need, how many parts of your seed phrase you need to unlock your wallet. And this allows you to separate your seed phrase and store it in separate locations. That way, if you lose part of your seed phrase or maybe it gets damaged, you can still recover your wallet using the other shares of the seed phrase. And same thing, if someone finds a piece of your seed phrase, they won't be able to access your wallet because you set that threshold. But the biggest update for the Trezor Safe 5 and apparently the Trezor Safe 3, which I didn't know because they don't advertise it, I'm only seeing it advertised for the Trezor Safe 5, is its NDA-free, non-disclosure agreement free EAL 6 Plus secure element chip, which I'll touch on in just a second. But as I'm sure you already know, a secure element chip is used in most hardware wallets to store your sensitive data, such as your private key, and prevent physical attacks. So what's so significant about the NDA-free part of this chip? Well, most hardware wallets that use an EAL certified secure element chip have to close source that part of the wallet because they sign a non-disclosure agreement with the chip manufacturer saying, hey, we're not going to share any information about this chip that could potentially weaken its security. But with Trezor, they have sourced an NDA free, meaning they don't have to sign a non-disclosure agreement, secure element chip, so they can share all the code that they want about this chip, which means the Trezor Safe 3 and the Trezor Safe 5 are 100% open source, including their EAL certified secure element chip. So to my knowledge, this is one of the only wallets that offers an EAL certified open source secure element chip. Now, sure, there are other hardware wallets on the market that have open sourced secure element chips, but they are not EAL certified, which really just means they have gone through a more rigorous testing procedure. So it's technically a more secure chip. Also, the Safe 5 utilizes firmware verification. So when you first get your Safe 5, it's actually shipped to you with no firmware installed on the device. And that way, you know, if there's firmware installed on your Trezor device when you get it, that it may have been compromised. So it's best to not use it. Contact Trezor and send it back. And that's just kind of an added security feature that they are able to incorporate now with the use of these secure element chips. Furthermore, the Safe 5 utilizes what's called bootloader verification. So every time you connect your wallet to a computer, it's basically going to check that your firmware is authentic Trezor firmware. And if it's not, it'll pop up a warning message and say, hey, this is not the right firmware. And of course, the Safe 5 offers PIN protection, which is a key component to Trezor's overall security model. Plus, it has on-device entry, so you can enter your seed phrase, your passphrase, and your PIN directly on the device and not on your computer. Without a doubt, the Safe 5 offers some of the best security features out of any cold wallet on the market, and it's still simple enough that a beginner could use it, but it also has those more advanced features. So if you're a more advanced crypto user, then you could take advantage of those features. But what about coin support? One of the main complaints I see when it comes to Trezor wallets is their lack of coin support. Now, the Safe 5 isn't going to offer any more coin support than the Safe 3, and I think even the Model T has similar coin support, which is over 1,000 tokens. So it has all the popular tokens or all the popular networks, of course, like Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Cardano, Polygon, and XRP, to name a few. To be fair, while that 1,000 number is true, Trezor wallets support all ERC20 tokens on Ethereum, and there are hundreds of thousands of these tokens. And I think that's why this wallet and probably a lot of other wallet manufacturers inflate their numbers, because they say, hey, we support all ERC20 tokens. So technically they support hundreds of thousands of tokens. So this number is a bit inflated. And that's something I never got with hardware wallet brands. Why do they market how many coins their wallet supports? What they should be marketing is how many networks their wallet supports. That said, I don't know exactly how many networks the Trezor Safe 5 supports, but by looking at their list, I can see that it supports at least a few hundred different blockchain networks. Anyway, earlier I mentioned that Trezor also released a new service called Trezor Expert, and to be clear, this does not apply directly to the Trezor Safe 5, but rather it applies to all of Trezor's wallets. But what is it? Well, you know how Ledger released Ledger Recover, that subscription service that basically lets you send your private key to a third party, and then if you lose your seed phrase, the third parties will basically restore your wallet for you. I know, terrible idea. Well, this is Trezor's sort of I guess, comeback or competitive advantage that they're taking against Ledger Recover. But don't worry, it's not as invasive or anywhere near as bad as Ledger Recover. So Trezor Expert lets you book a 1-hour session with a Trezor guide who will basically help you set up your Trezor wallet, whatever wallet that you buy, and walk you through the setup process, teach you how to manage your crypto, probably show you how Trezor Suite works, and then they'll also answer some basic questions if you have any. And in case you're wondering, this is a one-on-one session, but they don't have access to what you're doing, so they don't see your PIN or your seed phrase, so they're not going to know anything like that, but they're just there to hold your hand and walk you through each step. Okay, first off, I really like the idea of educating your customers rather than being like, hey, send me your seed phrase, and then if you lose it, I'll send it back to you. And all you have to do is sign up for a subscription-based service and pay me every month. It's a lot more empowering to educate your customers rather than doing what Ledger did. But here's the thing, this 1-hour session will set you back $100. Now, this isn't terrible because if you learn how to properly manage your crypto and you can avoid, potentially losing hundreds or even thousands of dollars because you didn't know how to manage your crypto, then this is pretty good value. But not everyone has $100 to spend to learn how to use a Trezor wallet or manage their crypto. But let's be honest, you can literally find all this information online for free. That's literally what my channel is about. I teach crypto security and I have tutorials and reviews, and I don't charge a cent for it. And I guess, sure, YouTube pays me in nickels and dimes, but I'm not charging $100 per video. And that's not to take away from what Trezor is offering, because I do believe what they're offering is extremely valuable, but there's also a lot of free value that you can find online. However, if you're a complete beginner and you don't want to spend all day scouring the internet for different tutorials and videos, then something like Trezor Expert might be a good idea. Now it's time for the ultimate question. Safe 3 versus the Safe 5. $79 versus $169. Is the Safe 5 worth $169? And what does it offer that the Safe 3 doesn't have? Well, there's literally only one thing that the Safe 5 offers over the Safe 3, and that is its colored touchscreen with Gorilla Glass and haptic feedback. There's literally nothing else other than that. The Safe 3 and the Safe 5 are exactly the same. Now, I know this seems kind of crazy, but I will say that having a touchscreen on your hardware wallet is actually really useful, especially when it comes to entering your seed phrase or your passphrase if you set it up, or your PIN, because using the two little buttons on the Safe 3, it just takes a while, and I'm all about usability. So personally, for me, I'm willing to pay a little extra money to have a more usable hardware wallet. Now, if you're wondering whether it's worth upgrading from the old Trezor models, the Model 1 and the Model T, it's really a no-brainer, whether you want to upgrade to the Safe 3 or the Safe 5, both of which have the secure element chip. The older models do not have a secure element chip. Also, the Model 1 lacks the ability to enter stuff on the device. So when you're entering like your hidden wallet or passphrase, you're doing it on your computer. So if you are considering upgrading to one of the Safe models, it's definitely worth it. And if you want a little more usability, then you're going to want to upgrade to the Safe 5. If you're okay with a bare bones model and you just want something that's really secure, then the Safe 3 is going to be fine. Now, if you do want to see the Safe 3 in action, you can watch my full hands-on review right here. I'll see you there. Peace out.